Well, I'm Will Canty of Boardroom Media, and with me today is the CEO of EZZ Life Science Holdings, Fernando Rodriguez. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, Will.
EZZ's listed on the ASX in March this year. For those who perhaps haven't heard of the company before, why don't we start by having you provide an overview of who EZZ is, and we'll talk a little bit about then the Q4 update.
Yeah, look, EZZ is basically focused on energy, seal, and zen. So we promote beauty and health, and it is an exclusive wholesale distributor of skincare products under the Iran brand. This is for selected channels, and also a producer of health supplement products under our own EZZ brand. So we are currently offering 39 products, which can be found in more than 980 distribution points. That is including major pharmacy chains around Australia, New Zealand. We are in Chemist Warehouse and 3 major e-commerce platforms, including Tmall Global, JD.com, and VIP.com. This is in China. So we target global markets, and we are adding new products, new jurisdictions, and new channels every quarter, and we expect them to turn into significant growth in the coming financial year.
Fernando, it must be exciting to be listed. Congratulations. Now, you released your 4C and your quarterly activities statement just only not too long ago in July. Perhaps walk us through some of those highlights.
Yeah, sure. So there were a number of highlights in the June quarter. On the financial front, we recorded cash receipts of 4.4 million. This is with operating cash inflows of 0.6 million. This is reflecting strong demand for our products, of course, and we have a solid cash position holding 8.9 million in cash. This is at 30th of June. So now, operationally, during the June quarter, we focused on creating additional distribution channels, that is via multinational hypermarket groups like Costco, and international lifestyle supermarket groups like Miniso, and to expand the grocery retailer markets as well. So we also added 3 new products to our health supplements portfolio. We continue to advance negotiations with distributors in Malaysia and Singapore to stock the EZZ branded products. And in terms of revenue splits based on audited numbers, EZZ products accounted for about 38% of revenue, and Iran branded products about 62% in the 4th quarter in FY21. So EZZ is in great shape, having achieved excellent results during the quarter despite the COVID-19 pandemic.
Fernando, so how has COVID impacted the business? I mean, it's impacted everybody, no doubt, in many, many ways. Have you had any impact to revenue during the quarter? And is there a reason for the decrease in Q4 cash receipts from previous quarter?
EZZ has proved remarkably resilient through the pandemic. Since most of the revenue from EZZ products is mainly from overseas markets, so the revenue is not expected to be impacted much, although freight delays might impact overseas deliveries. But the decrease in cash receipt was not so much about the decrease in revenue. We extended credit term for major customers in New Zealand and Taiwan as a result of an interruption of delivery services by COVID-19 pandemic in May and June. So finally, we see a seasonality in the 1st and 4th quarters of each financial year as the quarters that precede them tend to be very strong due to major promotional periods. So the result for Q4 was in line with management expectations, and one that we are actually proud of.
Fernando, it's such a successful IPO, and you raised 6 million going through the process, and it looks like quite a significant amount of those funds haven't yet been spent. So what can investors expect over the perhaps over the next quarter? Are you looking, perhaps are you considering manufacturing facilities? Are you looking at proof of concept? Are you looking at broader retail scenarios?
We still have around 8.9 million in cash. When we listed in March, the physical retail environment was doing better than it is now. So with all of New South Wales lockdown, we are clearly living in a market where footfall into physical bricks and mortar venues is restricted. So for that reason, while we still like the idea of a concept store, we are evaluating those plans as this macro environment continues to evolve. We have a pragmatic approach, and we remain focused on our online sales while we evaluate our position for economic recovery. So we have focused on cash preservation while considering a number of new opportunities. So we will be assessing the feasibility of a concept store in Sydney over the next 6 to 12 months. And this is a 2 to 5 year plan. So we are optimistic that the outlook for growth, and we believe our business model, which includes online sales and diverse geographical regions, will generate strong growth. So with the support of our IPO funding, we are also about to move into an R&D phase as we move to develop extra products into our range. So in terms of the manufacturing facility, the feasibility study is still in progress. This is part of our 2 to 5 year growth plan, and the earliest time of either establishing or acquiring such a facility is likely to be H2 for 2022.
So how much revenue do you expect to see come through the Southeast Asian markets and perhaps the Costco Mincio distribution channels?
So we are aiming to move online with Singapore, Malaysia and others. And by the end of 2021, in accordance with our IPO prospectus. So our new distribution agreements with Costco and Miniso, as you mentioned, are performing well. These two relationships are accounting for about 10% of the total revenue for the quarter. So our current expectation is that Southeast Asian countries will contribute more than 10% of total revenue for FY21.
There's some talk of a dividend. Is paying a dividend still something you plan on doing? And if so, is it likely to be the end of this half?
Well, look, this is something that the board is considering, Will, and we will update the market on any plans in this regard with our half-yearly reporting.
There's always a final question, and here it comes. What is your outlook for the coming half? What can you tell shareholders? What can they expect?
Look, we've put out an investor presentation today, which notes that with more than 980 distribution points and 39 sellable products, we are positioned well for growth. We see it coming through from our jurisdictional and channel expansion activities, and are very positive about where the business is heading.
So a powerful place and an exciting place. Fernando, thank you for spending some time talking to me this morning. It sounds clearly you've nailed the business, you've nailed the market, and what a great interview. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time, Will. Thanks for having us.